Okay, I'm Kim Waller. I'm an Emerald Ambassador, and I am so glad that y'all got on. I didn't know that people would hop on at 10 o'clock in the morning, but this is good. So today I'm going to share with you just a little bit about my story. Most of you have probably heard it, but I'm really going to talk more about just what we do with our time. So just a little bit about me. I live in Texas with my husband. We had just celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary, which is crazy because I feel like we just got married a couple weeks ago. I was a child bride, if you're wondering. Not really. Actually, I kind of was, but not like a child bride in a weird way. I'm a mom to 3 girls. We have 2 son-in-laws, and we have our first grandbaby due in November, and he's a little boy, and I'm just tickled to death. I have been building my business for over 3 years, and I have loved it. It has given our family, it has been such a blessing in ways that I never would have thought possible. So if you are brand new, welcome to Plexus. And if you have been doing this for years and you feel like, man, I'm stuck and I'm discouraged, hang in there, because I have been there. I've been stuck. I've been discouraged, and getting to reach your goals, y'all, it's life-changing. So this morning, well, actually, let me go back. When I started working Plexus, I was working part-time for a naturopath. I was running a huge volleyball program. I was homeschooling. We had 2 daughters in college who played sports. So I was going back and forth. I was coaching? So I was all over the place. And I felt like I was stretched so thin. I would love checklists and things like that, but I would go to bed at night and I would think, I did a bunch of things, but I did nothing well. I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. Do y'all ever feel like that? And I would start to work my business, and I would feel guilty because maybe my family was swimming or they were doing something and I couldn't be a part of it, or I was missing volleyball games for my daughter that played for college. And I would feel guilty. And then if I was on a date night with my husband, what am I doing? I'm checking my phone. And y'all, that's not how we're supposed to live. We need to be focused. We need to be the best person. We need to, if I'm sitting here working, I need to be the best at working. If I'm with my family, I need to be the best with my family. Let me go back to my notes so I don't go. So I was feeling guilty all the time. And then I would shut down completely. If I get too overwhelmed, that's my personality where I shut down. Do y'all do that? Kind of numb out, maybe turn on Netflix. So if I am watching TV, then the world is about to come to an end, because I don't like to even turn on the TV. And there were seasons of my life where we might be watching Gilmore Girls or Parenthood, and I'm like, who is this person? And it was because I couldn't control my schedule. So I started becoming a master of my day and really researching. And it wasn't until in January, when our life was kind of turned upside down, that I had to really kind of pick up the pieces and decide, how am I going to spend my day? What is the most important thing that I need to get done? So can y'all relate? Or am I the only person that feels like that? Okay. Work-life balance. We always hear that and we feel like, oh, I want to have balance in my life. Well, I'm just going to tell y'all, it's a unicorn. It's not real. But there's always something in different seasons of your life that are going to require a little bit more energy. And I know right now, with it being summertime, our kids might need more time. And so maybe we're putting our business a little bit on the back burner. But today I hope to give you some tips to where there is a bit more balance in our life. If you don't prioritize your life, someone else will. And y'all, I'm just going to tell you, there's mostly women on. I'm sure there's some men on here, but mostly it's women. And I'm going to tell you that, I'm sorry to tell you, you can't do it all. When you are saying yes to things, you are saying no to others. And so really what it is, we just have to decide what are the most important things that need to get done. So on this call, I'm going to give you practical ways that we're going to set up our week. This isn't just a call where I'm going to say, okay, this is how you get to Emerald, or this is how you get to Sapphire Diamond. I wouldn't tell you those anyway because I'm not there yet. But it's mainly more, I'm a nuts and bolts kind of person. I want to know practical steps. If you can give me 5 or 6 practical ways to do something, I'm going to do it because I am a checklist kind of person. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I like to say I schedule, whenever I name the call, I'm like, what should I call it? But it was basically how to work like a boss. And the reason I use the word boss, it's because we are the CEO of our business, and most of us have an employee mindset. And so we're going to kind of talk about switching that mindset today. All right. Now, let me just preface. These are things in a normal season of your life. There are going to be things like emergencies that are going to happen where everything comes to a stop. There's going to be times in your business. I know when I was pushing for Emerald, my life was so out of balance. And I knew that it was for that season. So if that's what I know we probably have some girls on the call that are pushing for Emerald. So your life might be a little out of balance. I think I might have even ordered pizza once to feed my family during that time. Actually, the night we went Emerald, they ordered pizza. I'm like, y'all, I don't even eat pizza. So, okay. First of all, I'm just going to tell you, you don't need more time in your day. The Lord saw fit for 24 hours, and that's what we get. And y'all, to be honest, we need to be sleeping 8 hours of those days. If you are not getting 8 hours of sleep, you are not the very best you. That's a whole nother topic, but so you've got the rest of that time, 16 hours. What are we going to get done? You have to decide how you're going to spend those days. Just like if you're a money person, we all, when you get paid, you have to decide, what am I going to do with my paycheck? And every dime has to be allotted for something. That's exactly what we need to, if you're a budget person, that's what I have to do. I look at my paycheck and I go, okay, this amount goes to pay this amount. So every dime is for something. Our day is the exact same way. Somebody did a post. We have 28,600 seconds in a day. We decide where those are spent. Do not wear your busyness like a badge of honor. I can't tell you how many times when I get on coaching calls with people, they'll say, well, I don't really have time. I have to take the kids to school and I do this. And they start listing out all these things. And I want to go, do you think you're the only one that has kids? Do you think you're the only one that's busy? And we go around and we feel like it's such an honor to be busy. It's not. We're all busy. But really, a lot of times when we say I don't have time to do something, there's a couple things. You're either saying my business isn't important enough for me to take time to do it, or I don't really believe that I can do this, so I'm not going to make time for it. So, okay, what are your priorities? And so what I do, I'm a paper pencil person, y'all. I write, I have 2 things that are kind of like, I carry them around everywhere I go. I carry my Inkwell Press planner. And if you have your Plexus planner, awesome. I had one, but this is even better. And I also bullet journal, and I'm not going to go into that. If you want to know about it, just message me. But I write everything down in this because I can't remember stuff. I'm getting a little older. But everything I'm going to talk about, I write it down. So the first tip I'm going to tell you on how to organize your day, what you need to be doing. Give the Lord your first fruits. So every morning, you need to, you may think you don't have enough time to do whether if you're a believer, this is what I do. I get up and I spend time with the Lord. That is priority. For some reason, it just kind of, whenever you do that, He makes the rest of the day work. So whenever you are, honoring His principles, He's going to multiply our time. So and if you need help, I know there's real quick apps. I can't think of any now that I'm on the call. There's some apps to do Bible studies or whatever you want to do. So it might even mean getting up 15 minutes earlier. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit more. But so many times we think, oh, I don't have time to do that. And when we're getting our kids up and getting the day started, we're scrambling. Y'all, all you need to do is get up a little bit earlier. You're setting the tone for the day. And I used to not be a morning person. I wasn't a night person. And I wasn't really an afternoon person either. So I had to become a morning person. And so I love getting up about 5 o'clock in the morning because that allows me to set the tone for the day. And I get to make my cup of coffee, have my Bible study, and then kind of get my mind right and then just have quiet. But I'm an introvert. So whatever that looks like for you. I don't want anybody talking to me until I've kind of had my quiet time. Okay, so the second thing is track your time. This might sound a little crazy, but there are apps out there that will do this. So when I had to sit down and go, why am I not getting anything done? I stay at home for the love. Where's all my time going? Well, I had to start tracking my time. And I was realizing that I would sit down to work and I would get on Facebook because I needed to think of what to post for the day. And I started scrolling. 2 hours later, I still didn't have a post. But I knew, whenever they click on, if it's a dog video, oh my gosh, for the love, I'm going to watch the dog video and then I'm going to share it. And it was just a rabbit trail of nothingness. And I started noticing my hobby, I love to read. Well, I wasn't having time to read. Why? Because every time I had free time, whatever that even meant, I was grabbing my phone. And it was almost like an addiction. So track your time. Most of us are, I bet by the end of if you track your time for 7 days, and don't tell me I don't have time to track my time because it's so fast. It's a little app and it'll pop up and it'll say, what did you do for the past hour? But whenever you realize, some people might say, okay, I'm going to go work out. Well, that's only an hour. Well, for me, I was saying, oh, it's only an hour for me to work out. Well, I had to get dressed to work out. I had to drive home. So really, it was about 2.5 hours out of my morning. Well, I'm not going to give that up. I just need to schedule it. Does that make sense? So track your time. See how much time you're really spending on social media. How much time are you really spending with your husband, with your kids? Once you sit down and look at it, you're going to be surprised. If you tell me, I really need to get to Emerald, I need that income for our family to create, some freedom, but I don't know how to do it because I'm working full time or I'm doing this. But if you looked at how you're spending your time, I promise you're wasting some time in there where you can find time to work your business effectively and efficiently. Okay, the third thing is look at your week. I'm like a baby step kind of person. Look at your week in a time frame of 7 days. So look at it 7 days at a time. And so what we do, I tell my husband, we talk about our schedule a week at a time. What do you have going on this week? He knows every Sunday night I have a team call. So matter of fact, somebody had messaged us. Carrie Wilkerson had asked us if we would go out with them on Sunday. And Mark, before he even asked me, yes, but we have to be home at a certain time because Kim has a team call. And it's just set. So we know if he's working late, this is what I'm doing. And he knows if I'm in my office working, I don't want interruptions because a lot of times I'm doing coaching calls or things like that. So look at your week in 7 days. This is where it kind of gets crazy. And you might think, I don't have time to do this. And that's what I thought. Y'all, I started doing this and it has saved me so much time. I do Sunday night prep. So on Sunday nights, I plan out my week. Okay, let me back up a little bit. I started off this summer and I wrote down what are my goals for this summer because I knew we're off schedule a little bit. We're not homeschooling as much. We're not taking Tristan to classes. And now that her legs are broken, we don't do volleyball. So we have a little bit more time. Plus we have a lot of doctor's appointments and therapy and counseling and all this mess. So I knew that I had to have somewhat of an organized summer. So I wrote down all of my goals and I look at goals. What are my personal goals? What are my business goals? My family, my spiritual. Okay. I also do other goals. How much do I want to give? That type of stuff, financial. Okay. So I have my goals. These are over 3 months. So now I take those goals and I break them down. What do I need to get done in 7 days? And so I write down 10 to 12 things every Sunday night. What do I need to get done this week? What are the most important things? This is not where I'm writing my IPA because that's a given. I do my IPA every single day. This isn't where I'm writing down my team calls, but it might be like I had to do a call. I had to do something last night, so I had to prepare for that. So I wrote that down. Doing a call for Cheyenne, that was important because I hadn't done that. I had to prepare for that. That was one of my things. But it was also other important things. It wasn't just business. So I wrote down 10 to 12 things on Sunday nights. So I know when I hit the ground Monday morning, I'm ready to go. I know what I need to get done. And then I plan out my days. What do I need to do today? Okay. I also, for me, I plan out all my posts on Sunday nights. This is not for everyone, but I was finding in this season of my life, because we're in a little bit of a drought where we're kind of recovering from an accident, so I don't have a lot of creativity. And I was sitting and wasting way too much time scrolling Facebook to come up with something creative. So I sit down, for some reason, Sunday night, I turn everything off and I plan out my posts. I do my team posts and I do my personal post. The reason that works for me is because not all the posts are going to be the same. Do you know how sometimes somebody will have a really creative post on Facebook and then the next 30 friends post the exact same thing? Well, a lot of my friends, we all went to high school together. And so my friends were seeing 30 Plexus posts that were the same thing. So I do that. That doesn't mean I don't engage on Facebook. I still get on. I'm not using something like, those apps that post automatically. I do not use those and I don't like those. I get on Facebook and I post. I just have it written out. But I'm still engaging on Facebook. I'm still engaging on my team page. I just don't have to spend 45 minutes trying to think of something creative. I still build in time. If there's something going on that's cute, like the other night, I don't know if it was cute, my dog got in bed with us in between my husband and I, so I took a picture. That really happened in real time. I didn't plan that a week in advance. So things like that, so I can still be authentic on Facebook. But it also helps me to be present with my family, that I'm not thinking, do something cute so I can have something other than a Plexus post. Okay, so that's what I do. Everything is done on Sunday night. I plan my menu. Bye, baby. I plan my menu. I plan my grocery list, everything on Sunday night, so I'm ready to hit the ground running Monday morning. Let me go here. Okay, this is another thing, y'all. A lot of times, and I'm talking to the stay-at-home mamas, we feel like we need to have our kids entertained all the time. And if you're a business owner, you're going to have to let your family know that you're a business owner and that they're going to have to give a little too. It's not forever. And I've told this story. Oh, y'all aren't on my team, so you probably don't know. One time I stopped and I was taking Tristan and we stopped and got juice. Y'all, that's a silly little thing, but it was about $20. And I told her, I said, what's funny is I would have never been able to do this with your older sisters. And she said, Mama, I know that Plexus has changed our life. So I'm just here to tell you, if your kids, if you're not spending 24 hours a day with them and you're having to work, I promise you it's worth it, okay? But we feel like, I used to have a girl on my team and she would know, I'm going to hop on the team call. And then she would tell me the next day, I didn't get on the team call because my kids wanted me to take them somewhere. And I thought, but you had a team call scheduled. So if you have something in your calendar, just like if you worked outside the home, your kids are not going to go, well, I know you have to be at work today, but I'm going to need you to take me to Sally's house. You would say, I'm sorry, I'm going to be at work. It's okay for us to say no to our family occasionally. I sit down. Tristan knows on my weeks, this is what I'm doing. I work during the day. Not all day long, but I do work. But I will take you to a friend's house one day. You just tell me the day. And tell me that on Sunday, and I'm going to schedule that. And then on Friday afternoons, we have the entire day to spend together. And you know what, y'all? That works for her. She is so thrilled. I also have a date night with my husband, so I don't feel like they're getting the leftovers of me. All right. And whatever that looks like for your schedule, I'm just telling you what works for mine. I don't have little bitty kids at home. So you might have little bitty kids where you're running all over the place all day long. So yours might be, how am I going to fit in time to work? It might be getting up a little bit earlier or making sure they're all having a rest time so you can work your business. When my girls were little, they still remember this. When I cooked dinner, I didn't want chaos. I wanted it to be calm. So what did they do? I would make, sounds crazy now, I don't know if people do this, but I would make them sit down in the kitchen, and they could sit at the table or they would sit on the floor, but it was their quiet time, and they were practicing being quiet because, you know, you have to sit in church sometimes, and they still remember that. And they loved it because they got to pick one book to look at or a coloring book, and they would just practice being quiet. You might have to do that with your kids. Mom is going to work for 15 minutes. So I want you to just practice sitting still for a little bit, because there are times where we just have to sit still. All right. The next thing. So number 4, morning routine. Do you have a morning routine? It might be push snooze 5 times, jump out of bed, throw your hair in a messy bun, and run out the door. All right. Well, y'all, it's time to set a morning routine. Routine in an intelligent man is a sign of ambition. I don't know where that quote came from, but I love it. Do you jump on the phone first thing in the morning? So when you wake up, what's the first thing you do? Do you grab your phone? Most of us would probably say yes. What you do in the morning sets your tone for the rest of the day. Mornings are for most of us, they really are the most productive time of the day. When I plan my days, I do my IPA first. So I used to wake up in the morning, grab my phone, and then the rest of my day was shot. Because for one thing, a lot of times we're looking through Facebook, whether we know it or not, it might be discouraging to us. And so that's setting the tone for the day. And when I get on my phone, I start going into a mode of answering my team's questions, answering other people's questions, putting out fires. Well, guess what? I haven't done anything for me and I'm not saying be selfish, but we have to wake up with the purpose of fill your cup first so you can fill other people's cup, so you can be poured out. So I get to where I use my phone for my alarm. I turn it off. I leave my phone and I go do my morning stuff. And my team usually knows I don't pick up my phone until after my IPA is done. Then I will post on Facebook, get on the team page, things like that. Okay, so what I do my IPA first. An IPA, if you're brand new, it means your income producing activity. That means you're reaching out to your new 3, 2, 1. Reach out to 3 new people, follow up with 2, train 1. That's IPA. So that's what I'm doing first. And I have a whole nother call out there. I think it was on DDD. And you can do a search for it. And it talks about how important my IPA was, because I was stuck at Ruby. Or Senior Ruby, I can't remember. And when I changed my mindset on my business first, that is what got the ball rolling for me to get to a Jewel. Let me go back to my notes. So when I plan my days, I do my IPA first before I scroll Facebook, before I answer questions. Take care of your business first. Do not answer questions right away. Y'all, there is no emergency in Plexus. Sorry. I know you might think there's an emergency, but there's really not. Even whenever there's a deadline, obviously we're going to work. We're going to help our team then. But even then, sometimes I want to tell people, well, don't wait until the last 5 minutes of a special to sign up, because you know the system's going to crash. Okay. Most of the time when we get a team, We switch from taking care of us and we turn all of our focus on them. We become a boss, not a manager, not a leader, a boss. And we go, oh, what do they need? What can I do to motivate them? How can I take care of them? Y'all, we can't do that. We still have to grow our team. If you're not adding 3 people every single month, y'all, that is so important. You want to continue to go wide, and then take care of your business first and then your team. All right. I could go off on that, but let me hurry. Okay, the next thing, number 5. So let me just recap a little bit. Give your first fruit. The number 1 is give the Lord your first fruits. Number 2 is track your time. Number 3, look at your week in a time frame of 7 days and then do Sunday night prep. Number 4 is create a morning routine. If y'all have not read, I think it's called The Miracle Morning or 5 a.m. Miracle Morning or something. That's a good book. Okay, number 5 is work in batches. So all that means is focus. Do you start a load of laundry and then notice that the dog needs food, and then you start to feed the dog, and then you notice, oh my gosh, the floors are kind of dirty. Let me grab the broom. And then when you go to grab the broom, you realize, oh my gosh, there's this light bulb out. Let me switch the light bulb. And that's how you spend your whole day. The laundry never got done. The light bulb never got changed. Y'all, that was my whole life. And I would go to bed and I'm like, I was so busy, but I don't know what I did. So most of us have about a 45-minute, whenever you sit down to work, 45 minutes is really what your attention span is on that. That is where you're the most productive. Anything after 45 minutes, you're not productive in that. So I would say create your day in 45-minute increments. And so whenever I sit down, I'm not grabbing my phone all day long. I used to. When I sit down, I work it on Facebook. If I'm doing my IPA, that's what I'm doing. If I'm engaging with people on Facebook, that's what I'm doing. I have times where I check emails. I'm not replying to emails all day long because then I'm scattered. And then my daughter's trying to, Tristan just got home from camp yesterday, and I think I was preparing for this call, or I was preparing for another call. So she was talking to me and I was doing this, and she goes, Mom, I feel like you're not even listening to me. And I looked at her, I go, I'm sorry, I'm not. I'm not. I cannot do 2 things at one time. And so many times we've been told that as women, we're multitaskers. We're really not. And so I told her, let me finish this, and then I will give you my undivided attention. And that's what I did. So when I'm checking Facebook, or if I'm replying to team messages, that's what I'm doing. And I will knock that out so much faster. You are so much more efficient when you will focus. For the next 20 minutes, I'm going to answer questions. I promise you guys, your day will run so much smoother. When you're done in that 20 minutes, shut it down. You're done. You can answer the rest of the questions tomorrow. If you're training a team member, shut everything else off. Have you ever been to lunch with somebody and they're picking up their phone constantly? They're not really listening to you, and they're not really giving their attention to the text messages or whatever they're replying to. So work in batches. That's probably one of my biggest tips. If you hear nothing else, you will be amazed at how much you'll get done when you start working in batches. Most of us come into this business with an employee mindset. We want people to tell us how to spend our days. We almost want a checklist. But y'all, we have to become that CEO to go, what is the most important thing that I need to be doing for my business? I'm going to tell you it's IPA. But we have to create our day. Don't tell me I'm a blue personality. I just want to go with the flow and have fun. I get it. I don't get that I'm not a blue personality. I'm so red, it's crazy. But you can learn how to do this. Okay, so the next thing, number 6, create templates. Okay, so what is a template? I was finding that how I was spending my day, I wanted to give everyone just personal attention. So when they asked me what Plexus was, I wanted to tailor it to them. Well, guess what I was doing? I was sending a bunch of the same emails, but I was rewording them. So what I do, I use Evernote. And it's just an app. I don't pay for it. It's a free app on my phone. And I can always get it, and I get it on my computer. I create little folders for Plexus, and I have templates. What to say when people ask what Plexus is, so I can copy and paste it. What do I send to new customers? What do I send to new ambassadors? So I have a template, and that creates so much time extra. It takes a little bit of time when you're doing it, but once it's done, it'll free up so much of your day. So if you haven't done that yet, create a template. Number 7, we're almost done, is the power of no. So I'm going to read a scripture. And I know this is going to sound crazy, but I promise it's relevant. In Deuteronomy 25:5, it says, if a man has recently married, he must not be sent to war or have any other duty laid on him. For 1 year, he is to be free to stay at home and bring happiness to the wife he has married. And you're going, well, that's a dumb scripture. Who reads Deuteronomy anyway, right? But I'm going to tell y'all what that tells us is there's a season for everything. So if you're in this season where you want to work your business, and that's something you have to decide, is it important enough for me to say no to some things so I can say yes to Plexus? But there are seasons in everything. So if you're working your business, it might not be the best time to be the PTA president. You might have to say no right now. And this is hard for me because I love to say yes to everything. And so in this season, I run a huge volleyball program, and then I was coaching. So I was an assistant coach for varsity. I'm the commissioner, and then I was also a head coach for another team. And after Tristan's accident, I had to come back and go, you know what? I'm going to have to say no. I can't do Plexus, heal my, restore our family, and do this. And so for the first time in 11 years, I had to lay it down. I cried like a baby. But y'all, it has brought so much peace in our family. I'm still tying up the loose ends because now I don't feel guilty that I'm all over the place. I know that I can either work Plexus or I can do volleyball. And every year my business was taking a hit during volleyball season. I'm not telling you PTA president's bad or whatever. Just in this season, you might have to say no. It's not forever. And it's okay for us to say no to our kids sometimes. And if our husband, if you're working, let them know, hey, I'm going to work on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm going to put in about 3 hours an afternoon or whatever it is. Once you start taking time for your business and making it a priority, your family will treat you different. They will realize that your business isn't a joke, if they do think it's a joke. But it takes about, once you decide, hey, I'm going to do this, guys, work at it. And it takes your family about 30 days. I think they've done studies for them to get on board and to take you seriously. So that's all I've got. Do y'all have any questions? Oh, wait, let me read. Okay. Do y'all have any questions? Because I kind of went through that a little fast.
I was wondering if we can get a recording of this. There's a lot of people that this can impact. I think I put it on the chat, but I was wondering if we can get a recording of it.
I will upload it to my YouTube channel.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I don't think I talked about anything that, I don't know. So, I have to think about what all I talked about. Sometimes I don't like it out there. I like to be a little private whenever I talk to groups like this. I think it'll be okay.
But it's nice to have somebody real, and you are real. And it's, there's many things that we can relate to, and you put it there. It actually made me open my eyes. So.
Oh, good. Sometimes I'm a little too real. I think I need to tone down my realness a little. Okay, somebody asked for me to go through the points again, so I'll go through them real quick. The first one is give the Lord your first fruits. The second one is track your time. The third one is look at your week in a time frame of 7 days. And then Sunday night prep. The fourth is morning routine, so create a morning routine. The fifth one is work in batches. which is just focus. The 6 is create templates. The 7 is the power of no. And so I'm going to tell y'all, I'm just show y'all this book. This is kind of what started. I don't read books more than once because, and I'm an avid reader. It's kind of a joke with my team. Almost every conversation I'll say, well, I read a book. And they're like, can I just poke my eye out? Stop saying you read a book. But it's called Essentialism. Have y'all read this? Y'all raise your hand if you've read this book. And this is not a business book. Y'all, I'm telling you, this book is life-changing. I am reading it for the 2nd time, and it is so good. So, okay, I lost my little screen. All right, guys, any other questions?
I had a question, if I may.
Yeah.
You said something about a video that you've done before and the importance of IPA. I didn't get what you might have titled that. I'm sorry, I didn't catch it.
Let me think of what it was. I'm going to look for it. It was a call that I did. I think I was Senior Ruby. I did a call for DDD. They a long time ago, they would have people do team calls once a week or once a month. I can't remember. And so I did one, and it was about the importance of IPA. Let me look for it, and I will post it on Cheyenne's page. Are you on Cheyenne's team or Kim's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. I'll post it on Cheyenne. I'll look for it. I think I saw it the other day. I was like, I wonder if that somebody had posted. I think Brittany had posted one of her calls, and I did. If they're still saved, I'm not sure. I'll look for it.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. If there's no more questions, we'll go ahead and I'm going to go and end this, and then I'm going to just pray and